Chris Stewart once again for BamaFever.com, joined by one of my broadcast partners, Ryan Brown. We just got through taping our Iron Bowl and our Iron Bowl special. And inside Southeastern football, you've already gone to plain clothes.
That's right.
You found your phone booth. You've gone Superman and gone back to Clark Kent for us here on this one. Obviously, Alabama, Auburn. Doesn't matter those records because, frankly, there have been some years here recently where the only thing on the line was bragging rights. Nice to have something else at stake.
Yeah, it really is. You know, last year Auburn couldn't really get anywhere, but they could upset Alabama's national championship hopes, perhaps. And the same's the case for Alabama this year. You know, they might make it into a BCS bowl, but upsetting Auburn's national championship hopes is what you get out of this game. I just think it's good for this game to be back on that level and have that kind of meaning nationally.
I agree. And while we say bragging rights, there's really more than that because you and I talked about this on the special and want to remind everybody that's for Wednesday, November 24th, 9 p.m. on CW21 that the special will run. We discussed the fact that it's very important for Alabama to win this game, not just bragging rights, but you've worked so hard. You stopped the streak for 6 years. You've won 2 in a row. You don't want to give up that momentum again.
No, you don't. I mean, you want to have, this sounds crude, but you want to have the foot on the throat of your opponent when you're in state like this. And Alabama's had it the last couple of years. You want to keep it that way. And obviously, if you're Auburn, you want to try to flip that and perhaps get a streak going on your own.
We've got a regular edition of ISF that runs 10:30 on Saturday mornings as well on CW21. It's presented by Legacy Credit Union. Among the things we talk about heavily, that LSU-Arkansas game. That one will be more competitive than a ton of your New Year's Day or beyond bowl games.
Yeah, and there's a lot on the line for Les Miles and Bob Petrino. Depending the outcome of the Iron Bowl, there's a BCS bowl game perhaps on the line there. If Alabama loses the Iron Bowl, Auburn obviously will be on their way to a BCS game. The winner of that game could get another BCS slot. If it's LSU, they certainly will. If it's Arkansas, they would be in good shape too with just the 2 losses. So that's a huge money game, a huge game for both those coaches.
Next Wednesday night, November 30th, we will have our SEC Championship game special. We already know the participants. It's going to be Auburn and South Carolina, but both have the big rivalry games. We've already talked about Bama, Auburn. South Carolina's got Clemson. How much does it hurt the league if your championship game features 2 teams that have just lost their state championship?
Now, that's no good because I remember last year when the 2 teams that were playing in the ACC championship game, Clemson and Georgia Tech, lost to South Carolina and Georgia on the last weekend of the season. And that looked bad. You don't want the same thing to happen if you're South Carolina and you lose to Clemson because Clemson's a middle tier team in the ACC. You don't want one of your championship game opponents to lose to a team like that.
All right, the TV gig you and I do, ISF, but you've got that day job with
That's right.
94.5.
That's right. 10 to 2, the Jocks Roundtable, myself, Lance Taylor, Jim Dunaway, every single day, weekday anyway. 10 to 2 right there on Jocks 94.5.
Always good to see you.
Good to see you.
For Ryan Brown, I'm Chris Stewart. We'll talk to you later on BamaFever.com.